Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's GentooMan here, also known as Rainy, and today's story time is actually a pretty good one. It's pretty entertaining in my opinion, and I just remembered that it happened because I had a really weird dream last night, so let's get into it. So this story time takes place a good couple years ago, and it involves my friend who we are going to call Keith. Yeah, the homie Keith, because Keith is a cool-ass name. And Keith was a cool-ass dude. So anyways, Keith was a pretty close friend of mine. He still kind of is. It's a little complicated, but he was a really close friend of mine. And he would often just kind of show up to my house, ask me to hang out. And we kind of just get in his car and, drive places, listen to music. And kind of just, talk about things. So whenever Keith and I would get together, we'd always either do, the most therapeutic session of therapy with each other that has ever happened, or the dumbest shit known to man. So one day, Keith shows up to my house, and he's like, yo, you want to hang? I'm like, yeah, of course, man. Just give me a second. I'll be right out. So I leave my house, hop in the car with him, and we try to figure out what to do. And so we decide that what we're going to do is we're going to see if anyone else wants to join us. So we call up our homie who we're going to call Reginald. And these fucking names, man, Keith and Reginald. That's great. Anyways, we go pick up our homie Reginald, and he joins us, and we don't really know what to do because that happens often. When you do everything and then you just don't know what to do. I don't know if you guys have had that. You hang out with certain friends and do so much with them that you guys have done everything and now you don't know what to do when you hang out. We're kind of in that scenario, so we didn't know what to do. We're kind of just driving around until we eventually find this big parking lot, and we just kind of stop there. And so we just kind of park in this parking lot, and Keith was a really big music person. He had a lot of music that he really liked, so he'd be like, oh, check out this song and stuff like that. So we listened to a lot of music, kind of just talked to each other, and eventually we were kind of just fucking around, showing each other memes, doing dumb shit, as you do. So eventually what Keith does is he picks up this bottle of hairspray that he just has in his car, and he basically just gasses us with it. He sprays us both with it, and we're trying not to die. And what he does, an absolute genius, is turn on the child lock on the doors and on the windows and turn on the recycled air. So we're just breathing this shit in, right? So obviously none of us die from this. We do breathe in a good amount of the hairspray, and we're all kind of laughing. We think it's funny. And then before long, Reginald is yo, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. So he hops out of the car, and he goes over to the bathroom, which is just on the side of the parking lot. Now, this was a big, empty parking lot, right? It was pretty big. There's, one other car in the parking lot. And Keith just kind of looks at me, and he's like, hey, you know what would be really funny? I'm like, what? He's like, what if we took the car and parked it behind that other car so that he couldn't see the car, and then we just stood in the parking spot and acted like we didn't know where the car went. And me being me, I was like, dude, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. Let's do that right now. So we do. We move the car behind this other car, and we just walk back over to the parking spot we were in before, and we just stand there. We just fucking stand there, and we're just trying not to kill ourselves laughing. We're like, bro, just keep calm. Keep it normal. It's going to be so funny. And we're just kind of laughing to each other silently like idiots. And then Reginald walks out of the bathroom and walks towards us with a confused look on his face. And we're just kind of like, the fuck the car go? And then we just burst out laughing. It's the funniest shit to us. And of course, he joins us in laughing. And now we're just three dudes standing in a parking spot, just killing ourselves laughing, gasping for air at this point. Eventually, we decide to stop looking like a pack of fucking hyenas. And we get back in the car. And we drive to Walmart. If you guys are longtime subscribers, you know that going to Walmart is kind of a frequent activity for me and my friends. And so we get to this Walmart, and we're kind of just walking around. The first thing we really go to is the toy aisle. We're picking shit up, making dumb jokes, and just laughing our heads off. We're just acting like complete idiots. And we kind of just stumbling through this Walmart, through different sections, picking things up, making jokes, as you do. Eventually, me and Keith are kind of like, dude, it's almost like we're high. What the fuck is going on? We start putting together the dots. We're like, hey, we did breathe in a lot of hairspray. And Reginald is like, well, what if we're high off the hairspray? And I was just standing there there's no way. That's not possible. You can't get high off of hairspray, and I'll prove it. So I pull out my phone and I Google it. And it turns out you can. So we just kind of look at each other, and I look at my two friends, and I'm like, fuck. And then we all just burst out laughing again. Like, we're all just, like, crying, laughing in this Walmart. So we keep stumbling around this Walmart, and eventually we find snacks, you know, as we often end our Walmart trips. We didn't even get normal fucking snacks. Like, we all got, like, a can of iced tea, which is pretty normal. But instead of, like, chips or some shit, we all got, like, we all pitched in for literally, like, a little package of jackfruit. I had never eaten jackfruit before. I don't even remember what it tastes like right now. So that was a choice. We take our iced tea and fucking jackfruit of all things, out to the car, and we just sit in the car and eat this shit as Keith is like, "Okay, we need to calm down before I start driving. I don't feel comfortable driving right now," which is totally fair, because he probably shouldn't be driving, but he had no problem driving before he knew that he was high off of hairspray, so luckily no one died. But pretty much after that, we kind of just sat there talking to each other until we eventually came down. I don't know how long we were there. I don't think we were there too long. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting learning moment, if you will. So now I know that can happen, and that was fun. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up the story time. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Moral of the story is, don't breathe in a ton of hairspray in a car with recycled air. That's not a good idea. You might end up buying jackfruit. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.